Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the NCERT of class 7th. This is the political science NCERT, social and political life, civics NCERT. So what is the lesson number 1? Lesson number 1 is on equality, and firstly it talks about universal adult franchise. All of us are aware that all the adults are allowed to vote, and universal adult franchise is the essence of a democracy. And in universal adult franchise we have one person one vote, and in India we have different forms of inequality, out of which caste system is one of the major form of inequality. And then the chapter also refers to the literal meaning of Dalit, which is lower castes, and it means broken. Okay, and then the book also talks about a book written by Om Prakash Valmiki, Juthan, a Dalit's life. Okay, this is important and might come in prelims, so we might need to remember this. When persons are treated unequally, their dignity is violated. So the chapter moves around respecting everyone's dignity. Okay, and then the constitution also talks about equality, but provisions doesn't mean that inequality does not exist or it ceases to exist. It still exists somehow in our daily life and we all experience it. But now there is at least some law or some order as compared to the earlier times when there was nothing for which you can claim. Okay, so these are the main things which a constitution talks about. Every person is equal before law. No person can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Every person has access to all public places, including playgrounds, hotels, shops, and markets. All persons can use publicly available wells, roads, and bathing ghats. Okay, and untouchability has been abolished. These 4 points are very important and can be used in mains exam. And then see, equality, to maintain equality there are two major paths. One is through laws, that you government make certain laws, and those laws assure that people will be treated equally. And second is government programs and schemes. Okay, for example, midday meal scheme is there. So all government elementary schools are to provide children with cooked lunch, and Tamil Nadu was the first state to do this. So these are the measures for equality. And then in many democratic countries the issue of equality continues to exist. It's not there only in India, but in many other countries as well. So there is this story of Rosa Parks, who was an African American woman, and in 1955 she refused to give her seat in a bus to a white man, and her refusal started a huge agitation against unequal ways in which African Americans were treated, and this is also known as civil rights movement. From there on it picked up civil rights acts. This is important for prelims, pay attention. Civil rights acts of 1964, and this prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin specifically. So everyone, according to this right, everyone can go to the same school. And then the chapter gives a mention of Article 15 of the Constitution. Let's revise it. Number 1, the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds of only religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. No citizen shall on grounds of only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them be subject to any disability, liability, restriction, or condition with regard to access to shop, public restaurants, holds, and this and any kind of a public space. Okay, and then there is a brief mention about Disabilities Act in 1995. That this states that free education should be provided to the children with special needs, and mainstreaming should be done. All public places, spaces should be accessible and should provide ramps to the specially abled people. And then let's move on to chapter 2. That was all for chapter 1. Its role of government and health. What is the meaning of health? First, health means our ability to remain free of illness and injuries, but health isn't only about disease. It is also about activeness and good spirit. To be without mental tension, without mental strain, that is what a health constitute of. In order to prevent and treat illness, we need appropriate healthcare facilities such as health centers, hospital, labs for testing, ambulance services, etc. And we also need workers, nurses, doctors, and healthcare professionals, okay, who can advise us. So already there is a lot of positive development happening in this field, but we are not able to provide proper healthcare facilities to the people still, and this is a very major paradox in India. And the tax which we are paying to government uses this tax for, number one, providing many public services for benefit of all the citizens. For example, services such as defense, police, judicial system, highways, etc. These services benefit everybody, all the citizens, and otherwise if government doesn't provide it, no citizen can organize these services for themselves on their own, okay. And secondly, government spends these tax money on education, healthcare, employment, social welfare, vocational training, etc., and relief, rehabilitation in case of natural disaster, space, nuclear and missile work. Then this is very easy. Healthcare is of two types: public services, private services. Public services, chain of hospital run by government. They are both in rural and urban areas. They provide free or low cost service, and they provide everything from common illness to special illness. And private facilities, these are RMPs, registered medical practitioners, and they are very costly, and majorly they run for profit. These are very easy points. It's just a brief revision of all the full NCERT. You need not read the complete NCERT after this. You can just re-listen to this video and your NCERT will be done. Okay, then what is Constitution? It is a primary... Constitution states that it is a primary duty of government to ensure welfare of the people and provide healthcare facilities to all. So government must safeguard right of life of every person. Private healthcare increasing, public healthcare is not increasing. And because of this, poor people also face the burden. They have to go to private healthcare, which is very costly, and they have to borrow money, and hence they get into the malpractices, and this increases the crime rate in our country. Okay, and poor people are already undernourished, so they already lack the basic necessities. They are more prone to illness, and excessive or expensive hospitals cause even more anxiety. Then we have chapter number 3, how the state government works, and this is every state in India has a legislative assembly. All of us know each state is divided into different areas. These areas are called constituencies. It follows that from each constituency the people elect one representative. That person is called MLA. MLAs belong to different political parties. A party whose MLA has won more than 0.5% of the constituencies is said to be in majority of the ruling party. Governor is the head of the state. If he or she is appointed by central government, and this is to ensure that state government works within the rule and regulation of the constitution, and there is a system which is maintained. Okay, and there is something called coalition government. Sometimes it happens that one single party is not able to have the majority, then parties form a group and form a coalition government. And after elections, MLAs belonging to the ruling party will elect the leaders, who will become CM. Who is CM? Chief Minister. And Chief Minister then selects other people as ministers, and governor appoints both CM and other ministers. This is important from prelims point of view. CM and ministers का काम क्या होता है? They have responsibility of running various governments and department or ministries. They have separate offices. Then government departments and various ministers who head them are and CM overall head is called the executive part of the government. All MLAs who gather together in LA is Legislative Assembly, are called the legislature. They authorize and supervise the work. CM takes the action through public works department. Different departments are there, and government is bound to hold the press conference. And then chapter number 4 is growing up as boys and girls. This is very easy, all about gender. There are different ways of growing up. Societies make clear distinctions between boys and girls, toys clothes, games, habits, tone of talking, roles, etc. And role of work of men and women are not valued equally. Women are given mostly caregiving tasks, and the work women do are more strenuous and physically demanding. Okay, so what government has done? Government has set up Anganwaris and childcare centers. Government has made laws that make it mandatory for organization having more than 30 women employees to provide crash facility. And then the chapter also defines identity. It is a sense of self-awareness of who one is. Typically a person can have several identities. For example, a girl can be a daughter, a mother, a wife, a grandmother, etc. And then chapter number 5, women change the world. This is also gender related. So it is stating that 83.6% of working women in India are engaged in agricultural work, and we live in a society where children face pressure from all the sides of the world. It can be from the demands of adults, or it can be by peer pressure also. And the chapter has a brief mentioning about Pandita Ramabai, and this is important. What is the official term for Dalit? This is scheduled caste, SC. And what is the official term for Adivasi? It is ST, scheduled tribe. I'm mentioning this because some people are still confused in this. And the last topic is women's movement. How is women's movement taken shape? What women have done? They have done campaigning, they have raised awareness, and protesting has been done, and showing solidarity has been done. What is a stereotype? Stereotype is when we believe that people belonging to a particular group based on religion, wealth, or language are bound to have a certain characteristic or can only do a certain type of work. This stereotype prevents us from looking at people as unique individuals. Okay, that's all for today, and from lesson number 6 to lesson number 10 I will cover in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe to my channel.